गणानां त्वा गणपतिगुं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमम् ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पत आनः शृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनम् ॐ श्रीमहागणपतये नमः। प्रणो देवी सरस्वती वाजेभिर्वाजिनीवती दीनामवित्रेवतु वाग्देव्यै नमः। श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम्। We are in the 8th Anuvaka of Sri Rudram, which is one of the important Anuvakas. Of course, the entire Rudram is very important, and much importance is given to this 8th Anuvaka. And as you would have seen when you are doing a Rudra Parayanam or Ekadasha Rudram, anywhere you participate, normally when this Anuvaka comes, they will start ringing a bell so that to wake you up from the slumber of monotony when you chant. And then people also raise their voice, because there are some significant glorifications of Lord which is mentioned, which we saw in the last class. The Lord normally is described in three ways. For a dull, immature people, we call Lord is described as a person located in one place with some name and form. And you have got various gods in our scriptures, like Rama, Krishna, Anjaneya, or we have got the Balaji, we have got Vishnu, various Devi, and located somewhere, Vaikunta or Kailasha, whatever it is. So we locate them. So for a Manda Bhakta, we call it, for a beginners, Lord is present as a Ekarupa. That means a typical name and form. Slightly matured person, then what you do is, we say, because when you ask the question, how can Lord be in one place, and from there, how does he see things? So once you put a little bit of questioning this thing, then we come to the next level of understanding, and Shastra says, no, Lord is not located in one place. Lord is all pervading. He is the one who is manifesting as the entire world. That is what we call it as a Vishwarupa. And then he say, Lord is in each and every place, in everybody, every being. That is what is called Anekurupa Ishwara Varnana. Otherwise called Vishwarupa Ishwara Varnana. Otherwise called Virat Swarupa Ishwara Varnana. All are synonymous. So we start divinizing the entire universe, seeing the Lord in each and every person, and each and every being, and each and every inanimate and animate objects, in moving and non-moving objects. So we have seen so many descriptions of Lord Rudra in this Sri Rudram, where he is in various places. He is in a thief, he is in a horse, he is in a chariot, he is in a mountain, he is in river streams, he is in sea. So you have seen various descriptions. For an ultimate sadhaka, where when we further question whether God is manifesting as the universe, then the question comes: the universe is fleeting, the universe is changing, the universe is undergoing modifications, and the universe is also, as we have seen, it is going to pralaya. So when the Lord from this, whether he will go into disappear from this, because we say Lord is not appearing, Lord is actually seen as the entire universe. So when you question whether the whole universe is Lord, whether the Lord is also having the date of birth and date of ending, because this universe has got a life. So whether Lord also will not be there after this. So when you start questioning like this, then you come to the last step of understanding. No. The Lord is Arupam. In fact, Lord God does not have any name and form at all. So God only is appearing as a universe. So initially what we say, Lord is located in one place. And the second stage we say Lord is manifesting as the universe. That is what Vishwarupa. So Rudram primarily talks about that only. And in the final stage, what is the thing is, the Lord is not located anywhere. Lord is not manifesting. Lord is only appearing as the universe. Really speaking, Lord does not have any name and form at all. That is arupam. That means no name or no form. Then what does it mean? That is a mind-boggling concept. In religion, we call it as a Bhagavan, whereas in the Vedanta, we call the same thing as Brahman. In religion, we call it as a Ishvara. In Vedanta, we call it as a Brahman. So that Brahman only is appearing as the world. So in this 8th Anuvaka, that Arupa description comes in one or two places, because that is the ultimate. That is why this Anuvaka is very famous. You understand the importance? In this particular Anuvaka only, Lord is given the title as Brahman, the Arupam, which is not directly said. What is said is, it is Shivatara, Shivayacha, Namah Shivayacha. Shiva means Shuddham, pure. No, Shuddham, that is means what? Shiva means Shankaram, is means Mangalam. Shankarayacha, Mayaskarayacha, Shivayacha, Shivatarayacha. Shamkaroti iti Shankaraha, one who is a source of happiness. Because Lord is called Ananda Swarupam. Sat, Chit, Ananda is the nature of Lord. Brahma Swarupam is Sachidanandam. So the Ananda Swarupam is Lord. That's why Shankaraha. And Shivam, Shuddhaha. That means Lord does not have any papa or punya attached to that. In fact, all these things, whatever I summarized in 5 minutes, there is detailed vicharam done in Brahma Sutra. Okay, and detailed inquiry is done in the Upanishads. So just understand this much. In this Anuvaka, Lord is glorified as the Shiva, the auspicious one. That is the most important thing. Okay. Now, coming to this, we have come up to this point. We have seen Shankarayacha, Maheshkarayacha. Shankara means happiness, one who is given Mangalam, and then Shivayacha, who is the Shuddha, Shivatarayacha. That's up to this we have seen. Now we need to go to the next one. Excuse me. Next one, now we have to go to the next one. Namatirtyayacha Kulyayacha. Nama. One minute. I'll just take the mantra. Yeah. Yeah. Namastirtyayacha Kulyayacha. Tirtyayacha. That means here now he is coming back to, now again, after describing Shiva as the Arupa description, now we are coming back to the Aneka Rupa description. Lord as the manifestation of the universe, which is what we are seeing all along. Now what is the thing is Tirtyayacha. So Lord is the sacred Lord, salutation to the Lord who obtains in sacred place, a place of pilgrimage. For example, Prayag in Allahabad is considered as a Tirtha Raja, since this is a confluence of Ganga, Yamuna, and the celestial river as Saraswati. So that is why it is a very famous place, Allahabad. So you go on a pilgrimage for what purpose? Prayashchitta, to eliminate the papa. In those days, people used to walk. In fact, those days, the pilgrimage is one of the major ways of Chitta Shuddhi, because you do take all the trouble, in fact, physical trouble, the self-imposed physical trouble. For example, Shabarimala, when you go, some people go through the Periyapade, the long route, 48 kilometers. So they don't wear the chappal. They have a 40 days of Vratams, and then they do. So, what do you mean by this? Any Tirtha Yatra is a kind of a tapas, austerity. That means voluntary self-denial. Voluntary self-denial. Of course, it has to be taken appropriate to one's health condition. If somebody is diabetic and then you say, I'm going to starve for full day, then you'll go into hypoglycemic conditions. Shastra doesn't want to say all these things. If you are fit enough, you do this. So those days, Tirtyayacha, when you say, people used to do a pilgrimage in which especially people do long walk, especially to Pandharpur. Even today, billions of pilgrims go walking all the way 200, 300 kilometers, chanting the name of Lord Krishna, and then come to Pandharpur. It is recently concluded now. So, in the Tirtha eliminates Papa. So, is it the water eliminating when you go and dip in the Ganges? Is the water eliminating the Papa? If that is the case, all of us can go and dip and then get this thing. No, it is our bhava which matters a lot, because all you have to understand very clearly. Because Ganga will remove the papam, so I'll do all the akramas and I'll go and do dipping and then everything is over. That is not the understanding of the Shastra. So when you take a pilgrimage, it is the attitude which matters. What is attitude? I am surrendering to the Lord totally. I am surrendering to the Lord totally. I am doing everything to the Lord and everything as a prasada buddhi. And I'm so thanu man dhanu sabu kuch tera. So that attitude should come, and that is why we do namaskara. When you do the namaskara, we fall at the feet of the Lord. What does it mean? I will not grumble. I will not murmur about Corona. When it will come, when it will go, we do not know. I will graciously accept whatever you give. So Tirtha Yatra is important from the standpoint of oneness, Sarvatma Bhavam, where Bhagavan is everywhere. Sarva Antaryami, Sarvatmakam. These are all the two important words you remember. Entire Shatarudriya. So Bhagavan is there in everybody's heart, and Bhagavan is there everywhere. So Sarvagatam. So Bhagavan is all pervading. So he is there in everything, which we have seen earlier. So in the Tirtha Yatra, the attitude of reverence goes up. So the purity in our attitude. So the river Ganga is able to bless purely through our own attitude of Shraddha. Acharya beautifully puts in Bhajagovindam, Kurte Ganga Sagara Gamanam, Brita Parivalana Madhavadhanam, Jnana Vihina Sarvamatena, Bhajadina Muktim Janmashatena. He says, what does it mean there? You can go and dip hundreds of times in Ganges. You can do various austerities. Unless you go to Jnana Yoga, you will not get moksha. So there the glorification is, the importance of Jnana Yoga is highlighted. Because all the Tirtha Yatra, all the Yajna, Dana, Tapas, everything is important. But they will not give Jnana directly. They will not give moksha directly. They will indirectly give moksha by what? By preparing the mind to go to Jnana Yoga. Ultimately, Jnana is the direct karanam, and all the preparations. Yajna dana tapak karma, natyajyam karyam evatat, yajno danam tapaschaiva, pamana pavanani manishinam, 18th chapter. So Gita. So Bhagavan says you can never give up. Why? Because that is what will give you the Chitta Shuddhi. So Chitta Shuddhi is very, very important. Otherwise called in Vedantic language putting fourfold qualification. Vivekam, Vairagyam, Mumkshutam, Samadhi, Shatka, Sampatti. That is important. So when you say Tirthayacha, you go to the Tirtha Yatra for again Chitta Shuddhi purpose. The attitude matters. So whichever place evokes Shraddha, that is a Parameshwara as Vibhuti. We can invoke Lord in anything, anywhere, at any time. Of course, in the 10th chapter also, Bhagavan gives glorifies quite a few things. Often people ask the question, is Lord only there? No, Lord is all pervading. He is highlighting few things. So similarly, Ganga is glorified. Similarly, Yamuna is glorified. Does it mean other rivers are not glorified? No. I come from a village where it's called Ramanadi. And the mythological story goes when Rama came to fight to go towards Lanka, he put an arrow, and there's a Western Ghats. I mean, my village is there at the foot of the Western Ghats. So he put an arrow in the Western Ghats, and from there the Rama Nadi started. It's a Jiva Nadi. It never gets dried up at all throughout the year. So from there it comes. So it's called Rama Nadi. So I can say Rama Nadi is equivalent to Ganga. So it's all about the attitude which matters. So understand this concept very well. So that is what is important. So one can say that one recognizes the vibhuti because of Shraddha. The word Shraddha is an extremely important word, which comes throughout Gita, sprinkled all over. Shraddha means what? Shastram as the sixth instrument. I don't want to go into digress, but understand Shraddha is very, very important. There's no English equivalent also for that. Tasmai Tirthaya Namaha. Salutations one, because of whose glory a place becomes a Tirtha, a glorious place. Then Kulyaya, Namakulyaya, Namastityaya cha Kulyaya cha. So Kulyaya means the bank of a river is desirable place to live. As people live on the banks of the rivers, nourish the Vedic culture. All our civilizations came in the banks of the rivers, which we have seen. All the various cultures, Greek, Roman, the Persian, and then our Indus Valley civilization. We have seen everything. So people first started settling on the banks of the rivers because rivers are very, very important. Of course, it gives you these for survival, for water, for our service. Also, especially in our Vedic language, all our rituals used to be done on the rivers, on the banks of the rivers. On the one for once performing obligatory rituals, one requires a river. In Tamil, there used to be a poem. Neerilla Netripar, Arilla Urukku Azhagupar. If there's no river, it is not a place at all. That used to say. So the river is given a very utmost importance in our culture because the, the whole rituals are done in the rivers on the banks of the rituals. So Kulya means the villages are located on the banks of the rivers is tributary. So Lord is I am abiding. So the bank of a river is called Kulya. So he is saying is I am saluting to the banks of the rivers where we do. In fact, it is very worthy. For example, when you do Sandhya Vandana, you go and stand up to the what do you call it, knee depth in the water and do the initial yajnas. So all the argyams, all the argyams. You do all the argyams standing in the river. Then you come back to the bank of the river. Then sit in the appropriate facing the appropriate direction. Then you do the japa, and then you conclude the prayers. So it is very very customary. It's very customary for using the rivers for all the ritual purposes. So that's why it's Kulyaya. Then Nama Paryaya cha Varyaya cha. Yes, Parya, Para. Para means the side of the river. Karai. Para means Karai. When you cross the samsara, what is there on the other side is the Lord alone. So even the side that you dwell is so Parya. So this one side is Parya. That means one side of the river. The other opposite bank is called Avara. As I say, Avarya Echa, Avara. The other side, so it's all a little bit of imaginary descriptions. That means this side of the river, we are here, and we cross the river, which is again taken as the symbolically crossing the ocean of samsara. So you are crossing the river and then reaching the other bank of the river, which is Avara, where Lord is residing. So Lord is here and also there. So Lord is everywhere. So Parya and Avarya Yacha. So even on the other side of the river also he is dwelling. Avara is also Lord unto the Lord. So Lord is in both the sides of the river. So we normally do namaskara to the Lord. Next one. Nama Prataranaya cha Uttaranaya cha. Nama Prataranaya cha Uttaranaya cha. In fact, in the Skanda Purana mentions certain rivers in which one takes a holy depth, get purified of one's papas. Because Puranas always, when you go to Puranas, this is another thing I want you to highlight. I mean, as a side information. The Puranas will glorify things, certain places, certain acts, everything, just for the person to get inculcated, get interested in the religion. Puranas give you everything in a sugar-coated pill-like. It gives you woven with the stories it is given. Of course, there are 18 Puranas, 18 Upapuranas, all done by Vyasacharyas. Vyasacharya only has done all of them. And so in the Puranas, you normally glorify one, and then you also, and then say this is what it is. But all the Puranas are embedded with ultimately the core Shastra. The core essence of the Shastra is embedded in all the Puranas. Only thing is one should be able to extract the meaning correctly and present it at the various levels. For children, you do only the storytelling. Little more aged people, then you inculcate the Dharma Shastram through Purana. Then the same Purana, you go to a higher level, you give all the philosophical knowledge. For example, Bhagavatam has got all the three. So one should be able to look at the audience and accordingly deliver it. So in this Skanda Purana, it says, you go to certain rivers, you get the papas removed. Because Shraddha in the Puranas, one makes pilgrimage of these rivers. So these rivers are Papa Tarana Hetu, for cause for crossing the papas. So there are other means like Prayashchitta rituals and austerities, which are also efficacious for purifying oneself. So all such means are Lord only. All such means are Lord only. So the one who helps you to cross the darkness of ignorance through the only means of knowledge is included in the word Uttarana. So Pratarana means one who is removing the papas. Uttarana means he is removing the darkness and giving you the knowledge. So Tasmai Namaha, unto the Lord salutations. So Paryayacha, Prataranayacha, Uttaranayacha. Pratarana means he is removing all the Papa Tarana Hetu Pratarana. So as I told you, only when the papas are removed, only when the Chitta Shuddhi takes only, you go to jhana. So also Uttarana. Uttarana means what? Ultimately, the knowledge only gives you removes the darkness and gives the knowledge. So he is a Uttaranayacha. So Prataranayacha, Uttaranayacha. So salutation to the Lord. Then Nama Ataryayacha Ladhyayacha. Nama Ataryayacha Ladhyayacha. Ataryayacha. Ataryayacha. So salutation to the one who obtains in rebirth. It is a law of karma that pushes everyone into various bodies. The law of karma is Bhagavan. This is a very, very interesting concept. Okay. Atharyaya. That means one who is giving the rebirth for the jiva. Often this is a very important concept which is very unique to our religion, the concept of rebirth. That means every jiva is going through multiple crores of births and death. And this is one such birth is this Janma. And everybody comes with we call it as a Sanjita, Agami, Prarabdha Karmas. So Sanjita means a fixed deposit of karmas. And one portion of it is fructifying is called Prarabdha. In Tamil, we call it as a Nadai Vinay. And then that is what is fructifying. And then you also accumulate Punya Papa in this birth. So the Punya Papa again is added to the fixed deposit of Sanjita. Then again we are born. Punarapi Jananam, Punarapi Mananam. Vasamsi Jirnani Yata Vihaya, Navani Grinnati Naroparani. We have seen in the Gita also. So this rebirth is, how does it take place? The rebirth. So Bhagavan is the cause of the rebirth. What is Bhagavan is the cause of the rebirth? That means he has created the system by which, where depending our Papa and Punya, our next birth is determined. Because of the Punya only, some of the Punya among the fixed deposit of Papa Punya bundled together, which is called Sanjitam, one portion, one good karma is fructified. Good punyams are fructified for us to get the Manushya Janma. That you have to understand. Because it is very, very rare to get the Manushya Janma. Acharya says, Durlabam Trayam Yevadat Deva Anugraha Hetukam. Manushutvam, Mumukshutvam, Mahapurusha Samshreha. So getting the right is very rare to get the Manushya Janma. Our Swamiji used to jokingly say, getting the Manushya Janma is like entering the quarterfinals of a Wimbledon round. So one is the Manushya Janma, Manushutvam, then Mumukshutvam, then interested in moksha, interested in the Shastra, interested in the Vichara. We are all interested. We are all Mumukshus. That's why Mimukshus, we are all Jignasus. We are seeking the knowledge. That's why we are sitting and listening to this. So Manushutvam, Mumukshutvam, which is the second step. So quarterfinal to semi-finals. Then Mahapurusha Samshreha. Mahapurusha Samshreha means having a satsanga with the sadhus, with the jnanis, with the gurus. So and good people around. So that is like going to the finals. If you have gone through these two, then winning the World Cup is what? Winning the cup is our own effort of going through the Jnanam, Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam. So getting this Manushya Janma is one of the rarest thing. That's what Bhagavan said in the Gita also. Manushyanam Sahasreshu Kaschit Yatati Siddhaye Yatatam Abhisiddhanam Kaschit Mam Yati Tatvatah. So getting the Manushya Janma is one of the rarest thing for us. And how does he determine? The rebirth is determined. Bhagavan says, I am only giving this rebirth. But by what? He is only a karma pala dhata, but according to what? According to what I have done in the past. Because all of us have done some good thing in the past, we are all born as Manushya. All of us have done some more good things, we have come into this path. All of us some more superior punyam, we are also studying and coming into this. And I want you to give you one guarantee, one ray of hope, which often is a biggest confusion for people who are coming to Vedanta. Often when they come to Vedanta, and which just talks about our Bhagavad Gita study, as you go through, some people look at it as a steep climb. Hey, I need to have so much things. What? Vekam, Vairagyam, Mumukshutvam, Shamadhi, Shatkam, Sampati, all the qualification. And some people will say, when will I get it? Will I ever get it? How many janmas I will take? So some people have got a dividends. Okay, they have got a diffidence whether I will be there ever or not. Shastra says, and Gita, Bhagavan says, you be in this path, whether you are getting the moksha means emotionally being independent of everything, whether you are going to that mental state or not in this janma, doesn't matter. I guarantee you Manushya janma again and continue from where you left it out. So Bhagavan has created the scheme of birth and death, the cycle. But who controls it? I take charge of my life. This has to be understood. Especially, you can take charge of your life only as a human. When I am born, I would have separately been born as a cow or some animal or some tree in the past. But that time I don't have a charge because I don't have buddhi and those. I did not have buddhi in those janmas which I had taken in the past. I did not have buddhi because sixth sense is required. So whereas when it comes to Manushya Janma, which is the most superior animal ever given by the Lord, which only has got the discriminative faculty, Viveka Shakti, and because of which I should know what is good, what is not, what is ephemeral, what is fleeting, and what is permanent, Nitya, Anitya, Vastu, Viveka, then I pursue this path. Never worry or whenever feel bothered about the destination paths. Always go ahead and do it. And Bhagavan guarantees for those mumukshus, I ensure I get the Manushya Janma again. I normally tell everybody in my classes, I say, all of us are Jivan Muktas. Because we are all Jivan Muktas. This is the last Janma for us. Afterward, we will merge with the totality again. We means what? It is not even correct to say we. Because we are not identifying with this body mind. This body mind complex will merge with the totality. I am already Nitya Shuddha Paripurna Atma Asangoha. So I am already Aham Atma, Aham Brahmasmi. So I don't have any problem at all. If at all some people think, but you take charge of your life, keep doing punya, be a sattvic person, and keep doing all the punyas. Repeatedly, Shastra says, be a dharma adhikari and become a sattvic purusha. Sattvic purusha means what? Always giving for others. There are three types of, because this one particular thing I can talk for 2 hours. I'll just, due to paucity of time, I'm trying to restrict my, what so many ideas are coming to my mind, but still I wanted to share. Because we are made up of 3 gunas. We are made up of 3 gunas. What are the 3 gunas? Sattvam, Rajas, and Tamas. And Tamas is the one which is Dvesha Pradhana life is called Tamas. All described in the 16th chapter. Devasura Sampat Vibhaga Yoga. So Tamas is the one which is Dvesha Pradhana, which will where I will harm others, and then that will spiritually will pull me down. Rajas is I am selfish, I'm still dharmic, but I am selfish, which is where lead to spiritual stagnation. Sattvic is the one where I contribute for the society and give more and take less principle as given in the Panchamaha Yajnas, which is given in the 3rd chapter. We do that kind of a life, then I become a Sattvika Purusha. The moment you become a Sattvika Purusha, more and more become a Sattva Pradhana Purusha, then what happens is the Jnanam, your qualifications will become better, and thereby Guru will come, you will get the Jnana. This is the Shastra's theory. So in case you are not able to get the complete, in case somebody feels that I cannot cross this samsara, this janma, they do their own self-assessment thing that way. Bhagavan says, I will ensure you get Manushya Janma. What is the job I do? I take charge of my life. I be a Dharma Purusha. and become a sattvic predominant person as described in the 14th chapter. Then from there it will become a, initially you start with tamoguna. All of us start with tamoguna. Then go to rajoguna. Then go to sattva-guna. Then finally from sattva-guna to then non-binding desires. You have a sattva-guna as a desire. Finally you go to the bhadita. Bhadita-guna. Bhadita means what? Non-binding desires. So tamas to, rajas to, sattvam to, non-binding desires. That is the stage of progress. So what he meant to say is, the law of karma is Bhagavan. When the law of karma is Bhagavan, is that laws are created by Bhagavan, but I am in charge of my life. I take charge of my life. It is possible only in the Manushya Janma. So Bhagavan is the one, Acharyaya, but I am the one who will take charge of the life. Next one, Aladhyaya. Aladhyaya, salutation is the one who obtains in the jivas in the form of karma phala bhokta. Karma phala bhokta, Aladhyaya. Because for the karma to exhaust, you require a body. It is all in the fixed deposit, the potential form. You require a body which is required only when you get one body, any body. It can be animal shariram, it can be a insect shariram, it can be a tree shariram, or it can be a manushya shariram. You require a body to exhaust the karma phala. Karma phala, to exhaust the karma. So that requires a physical shariram is required. So karma phala bhokta, aladhyaya. So the Lord is a jiva indwelling in the body mind sense complex. Unto him the salutations. As he said, Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam Hrideshe Arjuna Tishtati. Or otherwise, technically putting it, Bhagavan is the reflected consciousness. Consciousness is all pervading, which is called Brahman. The same consciousness reflecting in me. How? Because my mind has got the capability to reflect in a far superior way. So every Manushya Janma has got the Buddhi, which is mind, which is far superior, reflecting the mind. Mind in turn reflects into the body. The entire thing is active. So Aladhyaya means the Jiva indwelling. So Bhagavan has the reflected consciousness. So Aladhyaya. Next one. Namah Shashpyaya cha Penyaya cha. Namah Shashpyaya cha Penyaya cha. Shashpya means one who obtains in Shashpa. Shashpa means tender grass. Tender grass, small grass. Okay, tender grass. One who is in the Fena. Fenya means Fena means foam. Foam. Yes, spongy-like thing. So sponge-like thing. So unto him the salutation. So any life form, small or common, or any object that has got no value in our estimation is not separated from the Lord. That is the beauty of the whole thing. So everything is revered in our thing. So a small blade of grass. And there is a story, it comes in the Upanishad also. A blade of grass is there, and a Yaksha comes and then he says, whether Indra, can you erase it? Can you destroy it? Indra cannot do, Varuna cannot do. Then we told the story earlier also. Then Parvati Devi comes and then gives it. So we cannot underestimate anything at all. That's important. And then Namasikatya cha Pravahyaya cha. Sikatyaya cha Pravahyaya cha. Sikatyaya cha means Lord is the Antaryami in the sand, who makes the sand what it is, sand. Now you walk in the beach, especially walking with the barefoot on the beach is very, very beautiful, because you got the acupuncture therapy, sand. Sand is a very important medium for multiple purposes. The beach sand is something very important because sand is a filtration medium. You know that because of the filtration process only, the sand is filtering everything. That is the principle only we copied, and we do all the filtration processes based on the sand only, because it filters everything into different grades of sand sizes are used. It's a very good filtering medium. Also, sand is used for construction. Nowadays, a lot of exploitation happens. The river sand and everything. Bhagavan is the sand. When Bhagavan is the sand, what we should do? We should appropriately respect the Bhagavan, the sand also. That is very important. Because we say Prithvi is the Bhuma Devi, you say. Those every day morning when you get up, you say, Bhagavan, I step on you and I salute you. You put it as a Bhuma Devi and salute you. That's what we say. So sand is Bhagavan. The next one is Namasikatya cha Pravahya cha. Pravaha. Pravaha means is possible. What is pravaham? The pushing of the water. Pushing of the water. Who pushes the water? Of course, the law of gravity pushes it, right? It is from higher plane, it comes down. The pravaha. The water's nature is to find its own level. So Lord is the law because of which the water behaves as it is, as it does. So there are other pravahas like the flow of time. The time also flows. The Lord is also the law because of which the flow of time is measurable. So anything which is flowing, the water is flowing, time is flowing, everything is flowing. So anything which is flowing is Lord, pravaha. So the ability to flow, that is what is called pravaha. If it doesn't flow, what will happen? Then everything is stuck. So that is what it is. So with this, we have concluded the Anuvaka number 8, which is starting from Somayacha Rudrayacha. So a very important Anuvaka, where we have glorified the Arupa Brahman, Nirguna Brahman also. Now we go to Anuvaka number 9. So again here also, this Anuvaka is relatively a simple Anuvaka, where again Bhagavan further extends the glory. The Vishwarupa Varnana continues here. As I told you, Sarvatmakatvam, Sarva Antaryamitvam, these words you remember. So Bhagavan is there in each and everything and every being. That is continued here. Nama Irinyaya cha Prapatyaya cha. So Irina means desert. Irina means desert. The Lord obtains in the desert, making it the form as it is. The Lord is the law of, because of which the desert is formed. Here also there is a life. The life forms are there in the desert also. So unto him the salutation. So he is glorifying the desert. And Prapatyayacha. Prapatyayacha means, Prapata means great path. Path. Anything road, any path, with a lot of potholes, impediments, everything is there. One who obtains in the Prapatya. When wherever there's a word, that has got a meaning, road is used, right? You can always think of means for various ends. So salutation to the Lord who sustained the treaded path, a well laid out path. The path has got two connotations. One is path means the physical road is one path, or anything where there's a directionally you have to go in this. So Prapatya means, Prapata means the great path. So Bhagavan has got the path. That is what Prapatya cha. Namak Kigum Shilaya Chakshayanaya cha. Naga Kigum Shilaya Chakshayanaya cha. Kigum Shilaya means pebbles. All the Kurangala. So whatever all the pebbles which is on the street, Bhagavan is there. He said desert, he said sand. Now he says, I am in the pebbles. It is the pebbles. And Kigum Shilaya Chakshayanaya cha. Kshayanaya means any residential place. Shayanayaj means any residential place, any man-made anything, any residential dwelling. Even for a bird, there's a nest. That is a Shayana for the bird. That is what is the thing. So anything which is a residential place, whether it is so any road, any path which is man-made or not, any residential place which is man-made or not, Bhagavan is residing in everywhere. Bhagavan is everywhere. It is made there. In fact, we are creating everything artificially, only based on what Bhagavan has given in the nature of colors, the nature of designs, the nature of temperatures, which is there. We try to make it by putting air conditioners. Everything is we are copying. In fact, Swami Dayananda used to say, so anything, so whenever somebody says it's man-made, we always use the term man-made. So Swami Dayananda's famous quote, he says, when man itself is made by God, where is the question of man making something? Man has got no authorship, as everything is the Lord. That is the humility one should get. In fact, we don't call anything as invention. We call everything as a discovery. There's a difference between invention and discovery. In the scientific language, invention is something which is not there now. Whereas discovery is there is something already there. Columbus discovered America. What does it mean? What? America is there, but we did not know, and then he went and discovered that land. Whereas somebody invented means that is something, that is the gravitational force. Newton invented, we say, whatever it is. So because we are not knowing the theorem, but we invented that particular thing. Or invented artificial intelligence invented computer. So this is a modern definition. Whereas for a Vedantin, everything is only discovery. How do you say this? I'm just giving you a little bit of digression in the topic here, taking this one thing. Everything is there in the mind of the intelligentsia of the human being. So from the mind, From the buddhi, it is coming out. That's it. It is already there in potential form. All the things, whatever the scientific so-called inventions, where were they residing before? They were all in the minds of the human beings. Animals cannot discover anything. So only human beings can do it. So what we say in Vedanta, everything is only a dissing the cover, removing the cover. That means it's already there in the potential mind. It is there in potential form. It is only coming out. So in Vedanta, we call it as everything as a discovery. Nothing is invented. Nothing is created also. We often use the word created just for transaction purpose. Nothing is created. Everything undergoes modification from one form to another form. Even the srishti, which is called creation, is a very misnomer word. It is avyaktam to vyaktam, unmanifest to manifest condition. That's how it is. So you understand this. So why I'm saying is, by studying these portions, I should develop complete humility. Complete humility is the core. That means, as Bhagavan says, amanitvam adambitvam. You should never have pride, vanity, arrogance should completely be annihilated by studying this portion. Because Rudra says everything is Lord. Everything is Bhagavan, everything is owned by Bhagavan. He decides everything. So I have nothing else. So that is very important. So that is the idea you have to understand very clearly. Vidya dadati vinayam vinayatyadi patratam dhanam apnoti dhanate dharmam sukham. So Vidya, the knowledge should lead to Vinayam. Whether it's a material knowledge, all the more, of course, Vedantic knowledge. As we often say, you can give medicine to everything. If somebody is arrogant in the material world, you can fix him by giving some experiences. There are converts like who are converted completely and become God-centered persons. But the person who is coming to Vedantic knowledge and develop the Vidya Garbham, there is no solution at all. Having studied this, because when you studied it, there's no antidote for you. For material science, I'm a PhD, I'm having so much, at least we can fix him and turn him around and make him humble. Whereas if somebody develops Vidya Garvam after studying the Vedanta and then becomes arrogant, there's no remedy at all. So one has to be very, very humble. Very, very humble. So that is very important. Because this knowledge is guhyam, so rare. How many of us are listening to the Rudram meaning? Forget the entire Vedanta. We have been chanting for so many years without knowing meaning. Now we have got the opportunity to dwell upon it. Then we understand the beauty of and the importance of this particular Shastra. It is all Bhagavan's gift to us. Nothing. It is not me. It is not you. It is Bhagavan who has brought us together and doing this great Shravana, which we are doing it in this auspicious time. So have the humility all the time. That is important. Why I'm saying is, nothing is man-made, everything is God only. That's the part I wanted to emphasize. So God is a salutation to the Lord who is there in all the places. Then namakkabartine cha pulastaye cha. Kaparda means is matted hair. Kaparda means matted hair. When the hair gets knotted naturally, it is called jata. When the long hair, when you don't maintain it properly, then it will all get woven, interded, and then get sticky and get together. That's called jata. If you knot it properly by combing and then taking it, it's called braid. So generally, the one with the jata is considered to be a upasaka, someone who has no time for even washing and braiding his hair. The Lord obtains in the form of an upasaka, and the upasaka needs to know that Lord is not different from him. So here it is the kapardine in the matted hair. So the jatamudi which he has got, he doesn't have no any time. There are people who go into trance for even days together. Days together. Even I heard Swami Brahmana Maharishi also, when he went to Tiruvannamalai and then went to the temple, he went to the caves and he was there for many days. It seems that somebody spotted him and then pulled him out and all those stories. So you go in Upasaka, doesn't have time to maintain the hair. So Jata. So that's what it is. So Shiva is the Jata. So we call it as Jata. Then Lord, then the next one is Pulasti. Pulasti means one who protects the devotees even as they offer their prayer to him. That means Marga Bandhu. So that means he is protecting from the front. Pulasti means Bhagavan is the one who is protecting us in front, standing in front of us. So when you are in the thought of Lord, Bhagavan protects us. We say in our childhood days, or even today, we do. In the night when you go to bed, Apadam, Avartaram, Dhataram, Sarvasampadam, Lokabhiramam, Sriramam, Bhuyo Bhuyo, Namamyam. Rama Shostatva, there is a Namostu Ramaya Salakshmanaya. There's a shloka comes where Rama and Lakshmana are there in the front and back, and I'm in the middle. I am being protected by the Rama and Lakshmana. Like this. So Bhagavan says, I'm the Marga Bandhu. So protecting from the front, leading from the front. So he is a highway protecting barrier actually. The protecting protocol is Bhagavan. So what a beautiful, I mean, when you go more and more into this, you get fascinated by our scriptures, which glorifies everything. So we must have a reverential attitude, and we must use this life only for this purpose. This is the ultimate Adhyatma Vidya. So ultimate Guhyatamam, which says, so we have to spend time on this. And also as a material life where we lead, we consume minimum because everything is Bhagavan's. So we must be a conjuice in consuming the materials little bit, and then give out more and more to the society back. Earn more, give more to the society, keep less for basic sustenance. I mean, simple living, high thinking. I'll stop here, and then we'll continue in the next class. Hari Om. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Swasti Prajabhya Paripalayantam Nyayena Margena Mahimaisha. Gobrahmanebhyo Shubhamasnityam Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Krishnarpanamastu. Have a good weekend ahead. Good week ahead. Bye. See you next week. Namaskaram.